There we go. All right. Cybersecurity to architecture. This is the first guy. Okay. So from Gen 2 user, Gen 2, is it Gen 2 or Gen 2? I don't know. If he has Sims 4 for physiognomic reasons. I have Sims 4 because my wife's computer can't run The Sims. So I have to use this. Can you email? Yeah, email admin@prosopainsights.com. DM me on Instagram. I have so many unanswered DMs on Instagram because I had to uninstall it because I was doom scrolling too much. All right, first off, looks mostly Mercury face shape, triangular, a little bit of sun in the forehead, but the Mercury face shape actually has a variable forehead. You can have more square forehead, a more sun arch kind of forehead, and there's kind of variance on Mercury, but the core is the same. So especially larger interface, looks like a selfie picture as well. So somewhat. So very sensitive, takes in a lot of stuff. Very deep emotions. Look at that really full lower lip. So this guy's really in touch with his own inner world, thoughts, feelings, morals, and desires. But there's a really strong social element here. So Mercury face people, they have a need for outside validation and for so for that emotional and intellectual sort of reassurance from outside. But look also at his ears, the middle third bulges. That's the social third. So that shows that he has a strong interest in social and emotional pursuits. You can see he also has a larger mid face as well. So he does have a strong social need, very strong emotions deep down, lots of sensitivity, and especially with those full upper eyelids, that shows a need for intimacy and closeness. So the problem here is that the upper lip is rather thin, so he's hesitant to express what he truly thinks and feels deep down. I'd say his eyes look a little deep set, so that might add to that as well. Eyebrows are curved too, which shows a reliance on consensus, harmony. So going from cybersecurity to architecture, it's so Mercury face would do good in either really good in cybersecurity. Architecture might be good as well. But I think the what you should really go for is something that look into something that gives you that social connection, that social validation, where you can work with people. Would architecture be better than cybersecurity? Probably. It would let you live out your passion and express yourself. There is more room for connection and emotional stuff with that, being able to connect and link with people. But I think, that might not completely satisfy you. I think that's what's going on here is you're not like a... Yeah, people are talking about replying to the architecture guy. Anyways, yeah, so that's my main read is just there's a ton of social energy here. I would see you being better as, I don't know, activist, counselor, maybe even law, like trial attorney potentially, artist, entertainer, what have you. See here, I've got my my little mug, and it's happy, it's smiling. As if you surround yourself with happiness, you will think happy thoughts, and good things will come to you. Anyways, all right. Let's go. Who's next?
Let's see.
We got this guy. Let's do where's Ron? Or not Ron, that's what he paid in Denica. Let's see. Here they are. Okay. All right, they finally went through. Okay, just general read analysis. Very sharp look. Power. Okay. Get rid of the plastic bottles for good old glass. It's what I have around. I'm at my in-laws. I drink out of glass, actually, generally. But I'm out recording somewhere else. Interior design consultant. Yes, that's good for him. Okay, now let's look at this fellow. He's kind of an odd fellow. So first off, very wide splayed ears, very independent, especially up on the upper third. Very strong intellectual interest. People are saying wolf. I think fox. I see more of a fox here. Looks mostly choleric, I think. I don't know, the pose is a little odd. But that would be more long-term. The body seems real thin. So I suspect it's leaning melancholic here. Especially from the kind of the demeanor, the eyes. So very much nervous, very pessimistic. Like I said, very intellectual. The thing here is also the eyes are super deep set. So he's going to be very calculating, withdrawn, really think before he speaks. Small mouth as well. So he is going to be generally quiet, reserved. Very just thoughtful. This guy's a huge thinker. So long nose, thoughtful, patient. Forehead creases indicate intellectual effort throughout life. Eyebrows are mostly flat, so that shows stubbornness. Left eyebrow is more curved, so in his personal and private life, he's more apt to listen to consensus, harmony, feelings of people around him. Right eyebrow, a little straighter, so he projects as being a little more logical in his professional life. Face shape, I would say he could be like flexing the jaw or something. I think it's too angular to be Venus. It doesn't seem... face and head seem too small to be Pluto. I would call this mostly just Saturn, honestly, just a plain old trapezoid. Or maybe some secondary Plutonian elements there, indicating some added strength, resilience, loyalty. But generally, Saturn face is diligent, meticulous, detail-oriented. This guy actually looks like he would be better in cybersecurity than that last guy. More Saturnian, more serious, less emotional, more intellectual. So that's that. Yeah, very intellectual, introvert. Yes, David, yes. This is David's. All right. But yeah, that is, I think, just about everything I can get from that. Oh, also, the nose is straight, so cool-headed, rational. Who do we got next? Beep.
I don't know. I think... Who was the last... Which one was the last guy?
Let's see. Here's a guy. I just want a face read. I sent you a mail. Torla Red. Here we go. Nice. Good, clear, clean images. All right. Let's go. Okay. So let's see. So you're some sort of Northern European. I don't know. Maybe more Eastern European kind of phenotype, but I just see like sub-Norded, Nordo, Alpine Norded. Mostly flat eyebrows again. And so this is, and take note from the text behind him, like the M&M's bag, this image is mirrored because it's a selfie. So what you're seeing, our left is his left, our right is his right. So deep set eyes again, reserved, calculating, withdrawn, full upper eyelids, mostly, you could call this a Saturn face again, but this is kind of where the intuition comes in. There's much smoother, rounder lines here. The face is softer as a whole. Because the face shapes, I'm going to make more videos on my Patreon talking about the face shapes because I've been learning more about them. Because they aren't, this is one of the differences between me and other face readers, is that a lot of the morphopsychologists, they just talk about the face shapes. But I like to put them in terms of the archetypes because they're more than just face shapes. They're also, also have features. So this is Venusian. I think he's mostly Venus. Romantic, diplomatic, wants to make peace, very interested in loving and being loved. You see those full upper eyelids, that shows need for intimacy. A little bit of roundness to the eyebrow shows a bit of a care for consensus. But again, let's take into account on this picture, because it's backwards, his right side is going to be his true self. His left side is going to be who he projects as. So his right side, his inner self, the eye, the canthal tilt's a little more positive. The eye's a little sharper. The eyebrow swoops up, kind of like a Spock eyebrow. And so that's going to show irresponsibility, impulsivity. The left side is much more determined. Can I? No, I can't carve it out like that. I'm going to do this real quick. Check it. Doing it live. This is how the sausage is made. Okay, so that's his, this is his inner self. This is who he truly is. So much more stubborn, logical, a little more impulsive, more Saturnian maybe, more hardworking and diligent. And now let's go, and I'll do this one. Let's see who he projects as to the outside world. Oop, messed it up, made it kind of... There we go. So yeah, a lot softer, more kind of timid, compassionate. But yeah, he is just, but that's a pretty typical thing. Like, you're more serious in private and more compassionate and friendly in public. This is something I see a ton with clients, is like Saturn left side, Venus right side. We are more serious and diligent in private, but then in public you project as being more friendly. But yeah, that is that. And then side profile looks mostly choleric with a bow melancholy. It's hard to tell exactly the angling here, but tip of the nose does look upturned, so there is some impatience here, impulsivity, orientation towards action. But this guy does look pretty young, so a lot of this is going to change as he ages into his features. Might be somewhat sanguine with that chin and jaw there, but all right. Who next? Check DM for Clara Loretta. So I'm actually logged into Instagram here. Let's see. Oops. Who put all these on my Instagram reels? Abram, have you been using my Instagram account again to look at all these reels from this vile racist? I can't stand this guy. He's such a Nazi. Clara Loretta.
It just caught up.
Here are my photos.
I'm a little behind.
Well, photos. Forgot to send them. I guess you're on here, so. Oh, emailed me. Okay. You DM'd me to. Got it. Here they are. Perfect. All right. A lady. See, this is. I'm glad my audience is diversifying because this was a sausage party for a while. This is all chuddies. Now there's like a diversity of people who are in here, and diversity is our strength. But yeah. People saying the last guy looks like the kid from Toy Story. He did look like Sid from Toy Story, but I think that's mostly the buzz cut. All right. Okay, this is great actually because you have a pure face shape, pure archetype, oblong. You guys can guess it if you know your stuff. Neptune face shape, and so that is you're going to be very morally and spiritually independent, oriented towards spirituality in general, spirituality, creativity. People are calling you Angelina Jolie. They're liking it. Neptune rules dreams and fantasy, and so one thing that I've seen, the physiognomist, the morphopsychologist read about this. And I've seen this with clients with Neptune faces pretty consistently. Maybe problems with drug addiction or addiction in general. So beware. Stay away from that stuff. Keep yourself safe from that. So in addition, with the facial features, so positive canthal tilt, assertive, rebellious, able to put your own interests over those of others. Eyes come out quite a bit. They're not super deep set. So you're very open, expressive, very apt to just want to speak your mind, speak and be heard. Little gap between the teeth, that's actually a good sign in face reading. That means you don't care for society's expectations about you. Pretty straight nose, actually, so pretty rational, level-headed. Look at that big space between the tragus and the antitragus, and kind of wide, slightly wider mouth. So great speaking ability here. Lots of extroversion and talkativeness, but a lot of depth with the spiritual Neptunian thing. But that's is it harder to read a woman's face since they use makeup? Somewhat, but when you get used to it and you know like about makeup and what it does. For my wife, of course, I'm not James Charles over here. Wait, you know what to look for. The real trouble for me now is filler, and that's what I'm looking at with here. I suspect there may be a little filler here. If not, then she's going to be very open, expressive. And last thing, the eyebrows. And again, people do work on the eyebrows, but they can only go so far. Assuming these are mostly the natural eyebrows. Very high set, mean very contemplative, considerate. Takes a long time to make a decision. And they're very highly kind of curved, kind of arched. So cares a lot about consensus, but also very driven, competitive. Nose piercing is on the right side. Word. Okay, so this is reversed. So asymmetry. So okay, so this one is correctly shown. Oh, last thing before I move on to the next person. The corners of the mouth are lipless. And so that shows executive leadership capacity. So very, very powerful, willful type, especially with those kind of very high arched eyebrows. There's a very aristocratic sort of look here. You could call it high priestess, maybe. Maybe I'm just thinking that because the clothes and the hair thingy kind of looks like a headdress. She's looking like, I almost said she looks like a Bajoran off of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, like with the clothes. But then I got self-conscious because I told my wife the other day she got some new gym pants, and I said, that looks like something someone would wear on Star Trek The Next Generation. And she said, you say that about literally everyone. I was like, no, I don't. Only constantly. So, yep, that's that. I'm turning into Mike from Red Letter Media. It's all about Star Trek now. Do iDubbbz before and after his husband ruined his life. So this is the next chat. Next chat down. Let's do iDubbbz, classic iDubbbz 2017. You still there, Abram?
Yes. Yeah, I'm muted.
Cool. I just want to make sure you didn't like drop off or anything.
I'm checking the Discord right now. There's some confusion, I think, but
Whatever. The goyim, they can't do anything right.
are we letting we're giving Discord people free passes on this, or like do they still have to pay?
Um, I mean, I guess so, but here's the thing. The Discord is for my Patreon subscribers. And if you get on there, you can DM me a photo. You can send a photo to Discord, and I will analyze it for you. And I'll give you some pointers on it and answer any questions you have. Not for free, because you're paying for the Patreon, but at any time. So I don't know. I'm gonna go through the super chats first. If we,
Yeah.
because if you're already paying for the Patreon to get into the Discord, then like you're already, the only thing that this would add would be that I analyze your face in front of a bunch of strangers on the internet. I'm already gonna be analyzing your face. If you want, just ask me on the Discord, like ping me there. So if you want that. If you want a hotline to me so I can answer your physiognomy questions, and we've got some smart guys in the Patreon and the Discord. They know their stuff. I'm not going to say better than me because they're still learning, but it's good stuff. So a lot of times people get their current questions answered right away. I won't even have to do it. So yeah, Patreon is great. Very worth it. All right, iDubbbz. Classic iDubbbz. This guy was the G back in the day. How the mighty have fallen. Now, you guys can tell he's a great example. Pure Saturn face shape. So, diligent, meticulous, time-conscious, hardworking. I can tell that at least at this time he very much treated his YouTube stuff like a career, like a job, which is how you got to do it. You got to just make it you from No Corner. All right. But yeah, ears are very wide splayed. Now, so here's the interesting thing. He has the clavicular or Candace Owens conspiracy theorist ears because he's live on Twitch now. Let him know I've got a package sending for him full of white powder. It's flour so he can get baking. Anyways, Saturn face, yes, a very meticulous, hardworking. The nose is interesting. Shalom. He does look like he has a bit of an aquiline Roman nose. And so kind of a conquering mindset. So he took his stuff really seriously, like his YouTube career. Small interface, so decently detached, stress resistant. All in all seem to have been going good for him. So what went wrong? Let's see. Let's find out. Mostly choleric, right? That's so depressing, huh? Ooh, brother. Yeesh. Talk about a they're gonna invite you to Epstein's Island. But But yeah, very deep set eyes, very calculating, withdrawn, reserved. Um, but they're small, they're beady. He's distrusting, and I think my theory for what's the key for what's destroying him here. So cholerics are highly sexual, may mistake sex for love. Saturns are that, but more exaggerated. And then Uranus is that taken. They're the most hypersexual type. That's like P. Diddy, Jeffrey Epstein. They all have that very long, narrow trapezoid face. So choleric Saturn, he has a bit of a melancholic bent just from being so skinny. Like you can tell that. Sad, sensitive, needs outside validation. And listen, I think it's a plain old. Listen, if you kids read your dadgum Bible, go to listen and pay attention in Sunday school, you'd know this. You would know that sex destroys. Sex destroys a man. And listen, David was God's bravest warrior. Sanguine, Mars face, destroyed by sexual sin. Solomon, wisest man in history, destroyed by sexual sin. St. Paul says to flee from sexual immorality. Because you know what's going to happen to you?
What?
This is what happens to you if you have sex.
Oh no.
Look. Guys are like, I want a girlfriend. I want to have sex. Oh. This is what's going to happen to you if you fool around. No. Sex isn't even real. It's a side effect of marriage. That's the way to think about it. And that's what I think it is. I mean, I think he's just like, not to be crass, but he was too horny. He just let himself be consumed by lust. And Sam Hyde said it best. He was correct. She is a succubus. She's an Oriental succubus. She's Lebanese. And we love the Lebanese. Abram's Lebanese. But they...
Let's go.
Yeah. Lebanese are goated. Literally, they're goat people because they live up in the mountains. They all have the goat physiognomy. But these Middle Eastern ladies... This is like a Theodora. Empress Theodora. She was and I know the Eastern Orthodox revere her as a saint, so I don't want my Orthodox buddy Ethan to like whoop my butt when he sees me, because he's like an ex-Marine and he's very Orthodox. But listen, she was a Syrian exotic dancer in the Byzantine Empire. Emperor falls in love with her, marries her, and then she like massacred a bunch of people. I think she was a Miaphysite. But yeah, this is the emperor here. He sees the exotic dancer and he's like, "Ooh, hello." This is David and Bathsheba. It's Solomon and his 1,000 concubines, and he just let himself be destroyed. And now he just looks so sad. His hair is going. He shaved his hair. It is interesting that he shaved his head, because that indicates cutting off psychic, sensitive signals. Anissa Jomha Receipts Tumblr. Yeah, look, their physiognomies both got way worse over time. They just made each other look bad. What does a thin upper lip signify? Hesitant to express what he truly thinks and feels, so he's very guarded. And he definitely had that. So I think with those deep set eyes, that thin upper lip, I think he was probably very emotionally immature and like very low emotional intelligence. So she came in and she kind of, because he was like emotionally totally unaware and immature, she was able to kind of manipulate him and be like, oh, well, you should feel this way about this. And this is actually how you be emotionally mature. And he's like, oh, okay, honey. Okay, can we do it? Can we have sex now? So never have sex. That's true. I've never had sex. I made my daughter in a test tube. All right.
She is kind of a test tube baby. Like,
Make sure Egg Yolk USA.
are you doing?
I'm
That
trying to
one's
see,
like kind of.
make sure I didn't miss any super chats.
Yeah, you missed several. I think. The last or the one after the iDubbbz one was from Boney 950.
Hmm.
I think there was no message maybe.
Right. Yeah. Um, let's go ahead. This guy actually paid me on PayPal before. Erwin Rommel and Elliot Roger. True Chud. All right. What does this mean? Lips which are very full top to bottom, but very short side to side. Very full lips vertically means that someone is very in touch with their own inner world, and also very expressive to other people. But narrow lips generally means quiet, reserved, narrow mouth. All right. The Rommel, choleric, so serious, work focused. They have a side profile because they say he was an ISTP, so it might have been a little. Dang, he mogs Hitler. Sanguine with bow of melancholy, or choleric with bow of melancholy, I should say. Let's see. Mostly Saturn face shape, stronger than iDubbbz, but you can see the same general kind of outline. So this is the good side of that diligent, meticulous, hardworking. And look at the ears, pointy, mischievous top thirds of the ears. The desert fox. You also see hooded eyes that shows independence, need for personal space, but positive canthal tilt underneath. So positive canthal tilt means rebellious, assertive, put their own interests over those of others, but those droopy hooded eyes create the false impression of a negative canthal tilt, and so that can trick people and make these people seem like people pleasing and whatnot, even if they aren't. Very thin lips, so very cold, unexpressive. Super thin lower lip, so very out of touch with his own inner world. Very much focused on work, on the external, the practical. Yeah, so good general's face. Elliot Roger. Yeah, because this guy Patreoned me $40 earlier. All right, Elliot Roger, the original incel, the original chud. And so here's a good case study. I think mostly Venus face shape, diamond or lozenge face shape. And that is romantic, diplomatic, concerned with loving and being loved. Of course, we see the dark side of that. Before we go anywhere else, look at the asymmetry. Let's pop this into the MS Paint real quick. Let's do something with it. All right. Now, what do you guys see on the asymmetry so far? Look at the eyebrows. What's going on there? You guys are smart. You can figure this out. How big is this file? Holy crap. So let's see his right side, who he projects as. So you see wide set eyes, very tolerant, spacey, accepting, curved eyebrows, defers to consensus, people pleasing, neutral or even negative canthal tilt, so kind of people pleasing, kind, small little mouth. He looks very mousy. He's like, oh, I'm just a little guy. Oh, but then let's look at his true self, his inner self. And wow, what a contrast. What a contrast. Eyes are closer set, so more focused, more high disgust impulse. Very arched eyebrows. They're very arched, but also kind of flat. So stubborn, yet also competitive, controlling, jealous. Wider mouth. You see that natural sort of sneer there, more positive canthal tilt. So very aggressive, wanted to get what he wanted out of life. Assertive, controlling, kind of evil. The left side is the part of him that relates to Anakin Skywalker. If you ever watched his videos, he's always quoting Anakin, like a Hayden Christensen Anakin from the Star Wars prequels. But he could not listen. If he just looked like that by default, like if he could have brought that side of himself out and could work up the courage to not be totally passive in everything, then he wouldn't have freaked out and tried to shoot up a sorority. Because this kind of mogs, but I don't think he could do it, probably because I think he was mostly melancholic. Maybe somewhat choleric, maybe melancholic with a choleric jaw, so more serious kind of underlying energy, but that bow there, what the heck? Who making these like dreamy edits of bro? Crazy to think that he'd be like 35 now. But yeah, very full lips, so very expressive. Short nose, action-oriented. Close set ears, so dependent, conformist, dependent on relationships. So he, especially, Venus face with a melancholic temperament, those are always hopeless romantics. I see it with my clients all the time. Because they need outside validation, they're insecure, and they're also interested in loving and being loved. So they always feel like, oh, no one loves me, I'll never find love, and this is like the worst case scenario for that. But yeah, he was short. Yes, he was short. I'm losing super chats here.
I think the next one would be the one from Bonnie.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. There was no message with that one, so I don't know if he sent you an email or...
Jack Graham. I think this might have been him. I don't know. Let's do it. All right. Mostly... I don't know. The forehead isn't square enough to be Venus. I think it's probably mostly Venus, but some Sun as well. So there's some aloofness here. Close set eyes, so very detail focused. Bonnie, email. Bonnie, what email was it? She's talking. It's weird. These went way longer than I thought. Or specifically, the super chat's disappearing is annoying. I don't know why it's doing
Yeah,
that.
you can look at it on Creator Studio, but I can do it from here. You don't worry about it. 'Cause
Okay, cool. You handle it.
wanna
You handle it. I'll get it.
expose
We'll
all
get
that.
through these. Jacket's coming off. All right. So I'm vanilla. Okay. How or where do you pay? All right. I can't find your email. Abram will figure that out. Abram's in the live chat. Who's after Boney?
Vicente
Vicente.
said there's an email.
Okay,
Or-
cool. Yeah, I got it. All right. Thank you for running this, Abram. This is why we love Abram, folks. Everyone say W Abram in the chat.
This is, I'm trying my best.
We're all trying our
kind of
best. This
the
is my first time.
first time we've done this.
Yeah. But if this goes well, I
We'll
was
get-
thinking this is like the test run, and if this goes kind of well, this is going to be like a new regular thing. So all right. Melancholic, pretty strongly. There's maybe some choleric there, but it's a strong face, but the underlying core is melancholic. Tim Avery from Son of the Mask. You're next, Tim Avery from Son of the Mask, I think. I'm just doing them as Abram says them. So this is interesting. When the nose pokes forward like that and like swoops up, I call it possum nose. These guys are funny, a little gullible, so they say in the face reading literature. Really wide splayed ears, so very independent, nonconformist. Long face, so very long face in general means aristocratic, intellectual. Triangle too, so long triangle, that's longer variant of Mercury, so sensitive, needs outside affirmation. Look at those straight across eyebrows too, very stubborn. Wide set eyes, so tolerant, spacey, big picture focused. And then, like I said, big inner face, so very sensitive, very susceptible to stress. Deep set eyes, so calculating, withdrawn. Earbuds, which means he's listening to music. Long nose too. It's interesting that the nose is long but concave. So long nose means thoughtful, patient. This is a very, very sensitive, intellectual sort of type. Stubborn and logical, but I see a lot of kindness and emotional intelligence here from these kind of softer, kind eyes, round tip of the nose. Yeah, so, but very sensitive. There's kind of the two sides of the same coin of very sensitive, very reactive, very nervous, but also very intelligent. So, all right, who's next?
I think it's Vinlov Anton, the Tim Avery guy that won Tim Avery.
Son of the Mask. I told you were next. Yeah.
Or Bonnie if you can find her email.
Send it to him this time. Okay, she's sending it now. Here it is. Okay, we got her. She just typed the email in wrong.
We'll do Tim Avery next.
Tim Avery after this, because she got delayed. Whoa. All right. All right. Let's go. W Catholic, W Christian, W Lord and Savior. Okay. Cat face, true cat archetype. Very feline. People are saying sneaky. True. Low eyelids, full upper eyelids as well. Even though they're kind of hooded. Like you can see those heavy upper eyelids. There's a level of calmness, detachment. Big inner face, so very sensitive here, especially that chin, forehead. Looks kind of kind of choleric, but there's a strong melancholic element there. People are saying bird. So eyes are coming out a lot, so very speaks off the cuff, will blurt things out maybe. Like I'm seeing funny friend very much. Face shape I think has a little bit of Mercury, but mostly circular moon, so very moody, rhythmic, nurturing, caring. Would be a good mother, probably. But very dreamy, imaginative, can be impractical and avoidant, especially with that big interface. Very sensitive, very moody, might be overwhelmed by stress. Aaron, what's the email? I gotta make sure I type my email. My email is up there. Prosopa Insights at admin@prosopainsights.com. Eres Bella Boni. People are flirting in Spanish. She's not even Mexican. Bump on the bridge of the nose shows reactivity. Fairly full lower lip, so in touch with her own inner world. But the neat thing here, even though she is a moon face, I'm moving between these kind of fast, hoping I'm not giving you guys motion sickness. Well, first off, negative canthal tilt on the right side, positive on the right side. So she projects as being very people-pleasing, conciliatory. Left side, she's more assertive, more driven. But the upper lip, it's not that high-low arch upper lip or high and narrow arch. It's a low and wide arch upper lip. So that's a sun upper lip. She is, her communication style is going to be a little detached, cold, maybe even harsh or blunt. And very long eyebrows, too. So likes to plan ahead, very cautious. But yeah, good poet physiognomy, honestly. Good artist. You should paint or something. Just pray the rosary. All right, who we got next, Abram?
Tim Avery.
Tim Avery. Okay, yes. Someone said, have you listened to the song Seen and Not Seen by Talking Heads? I think it's your channel's theme song. No, but I love Talking Heads. And if you're smart, you'll notice that my intro on my videos is the water background thing from the Once in a Lifetime music video. Do Tim Avery from Son of the Mask. Here we go. I sent you the monies. No, I want to see the Tim Avery. All right. So Kino. IV'd. Okay. So his design in the Son of the Mask. So I think Mercury face shape, triangular, sensitive, witty. This is actually a good case study for character design. So see that chin dimple? That indicates that someone feels a sense of self-importance. Very deep set eyes. So he is calculating, withdrawn. Someone spent $20 of real money for this. Gap between the teeth, doesn't care about society's expectations for him. Because you tell him to pull out an ID, he pulls out an IV. My brain is melting. Forehead creases show strong intellectual effort. And what a Kino film. Oh, long nose shows he's thoughtful, patient, and maybe sanguine, actually. Maybe this is supposed to be sanguine. So very enthusiastic, outgoing. What is this? I'm leaving. Somebody paid for this. Somebody paid $20 for this. So that's my best analysis. And he emailed me 3 times about it. So somebody really wanted to see that. So, paid paid to bring Ryan. Oh my Wotan, he's a mask poster. I am a mask poster. All right, who's next, Abram?
I think it's Frederick Moss. Sent an email. Also, I don't know if you caught this, but maybe I wasn't paying attention. But Bonnie said she's Salvadoran.
Salvadoran. So Mesoamerican. That's cool. You should go home. Bukele has it on lock now. All right. Frederick. Let's see. Alpanid. Alerta de Alpanid. Alpanid fellow. Sun face, I think. Not moon, because the forehead is too high and broad, and the lower face is narrower than the higher face. So sun face shape. So aloof, detached, independent, gregarious and friendly, but like I said, overall independent. Sun face people are great at parties, but they're fine if they aren't invited. And idealistic, analytical mind. Very thin eyebrows, so very gentle, reserved energy. Ears. So sizable earlobe. So there is a degree of materialism here, interest in material things. This could be hedonism. This could be desire for money. It could just be pragmatism. Lipless corners. Sorry. My wife texted me, she said I was too mean about the mask thing. No, that's real. That was very funny though. I liked that. And I appreciate you, you paid me to do just that. But yeah. Oh, phlegmatic as well. This guy's phlegmatic, melancholic profile. So, things, plans, and acts in the long term, visionary, dedicated, can endure a ton. Phlegmatics are like a big boulder where it takes time to get them going. That's why their main problem is momentum. If they aren't doing much, then they can get kind of stuck. But then they are. What about the lipless corners? I didn't expand on the lipless corners because I got distracted. Lipless corners stand for executive leadership capacity. So he would be a great manager. Sun face plus, phlegmatics are perfect managers. You give them a system, you give them rules, and then they can run it really well. So super stable, tolerant, enduring with that phlegmatic temperament. Sun face, wide set eyes, so tolerant, big picture focused. So not super good with the details, but good at seeing the big picture. Very visionary. This guy can see way far ahead. And cleft chin, so sense of self-importance, main character syndrome. And very round tip of the nose. At this point, with this level of roundness, it doesn't just stand for kindness or generosity. It would be wanting the finer things in life, maybe even greed, gluttony. Forehead creases show intellectual effort as well. So yeah, and positive canthal tilt too. So a little assertive, rebellious, able to put his own interests over those of others. So this is one where clavicular or whatever, they wouldn't say, oh, this guy mogs, but this shows how physiognomy, this guy has a lot of good assets going. And this is actually, from a physiognomic standpoint, this is actually a really good physiognomy, I think. Lots of, if you use it right, don't put this guy in the NBA or anything, or as an accountant because he's not good with details, but big picture, management, leadership, amazing. So, who's next?
I think we got Arlo Music. We also have a bunch of. Hang on, let me double check this, but yeah, we'll get to that later. But yeah, first Arlo Music.
Did he DM or link?
He emailed.
Emailed, okay. Arlo.
He said it might be
name on YouTube is Arlo Music. Here it is. Yeah. All right. Ooh, this is sharp, powerful. Very lupine. There's a wolf thing going here. You could maybe say fox, but um, so first off, so mostly dependent, conformist, but super interested in intellectual matters. Very abstract, very intellectual, very philosophical. Small interface, stress resistant, but maybe you could call it a Saturn. But I don't know. There's a few things going on here. I think that low and narrow forehead, very low forehead. Yeah, maybe mostly a Venus face. I think romantic, diplomatic. I see kind of something between Venus, Mercury, a little bit of Saturn, and the squareness of the chin. Very strong, sanguine chin. This guy is very strong, sanguine. So very enthusiastic, impulsive, muscle coordinated, wants to just do things physically. Very physical type, you can tell from that strong lower jaw. But the jaw angle is not sanguine. It's choleric. So good with long-term stuff. But the intellect and the initial presentation is very impulsive and impatient. Curved nose, deep, rich passions, very full upper eyelids, so strong need for connection and intimacy, and green eyes, very powerful, imaginative, spiritual sort of worldview. Downturned corners of the mouth, so pessimistic, small mouth in general, so quiet, reserved, resistant to new social connections, hesitant to get what he wants out of life. Thin sun upper lip, so kind of cold, detached, aloof communication style, hesitant to say what he really thinks and feels, especially with those more deep set eyes. Very full lower lip, so deep passion. So I see a lot of deep passions here, kind of some impulsivity, and physical, tangible, material power combined with a lot of intellectualism and a lot of self-doubt, hesitancy to express what he really thinks and feels. Look at the negative canthal tilt, people-pleasing, conciliatory. So I could see a lot of potential here. There's a very intense face. I like that. Intense faces are good because they're very powerful. But there's a lot of kind of disparate elements here that I think you need a lot of soul-searching, spiritual work to kind of work through. And but yeah, because you have pessimism, you have difficulty expressing himself, people pleasing, and then is that a cut in the eyebrow, or that looks like an actual scar? It's kind of awesome, dude. When I was in middle school, I tried to shave my eyebrow to give myself a little scar like that. Yeah, W middle schoolers. All right, who's next?
I think it's. Let's see. I'm missing. There was one from somebody. I think it got removed and resent. So we'll go to No Coiner.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Email.
Here it is. Good day, sir. All right. Older gent. Let's see. Okay. So some of it looks kind of sun-faced, but I know by default I think every bald man has a sun face. But the lower face is level with that upper face, so it's not really a sun. Maybe more of a Neptune, I think. So kind of like that lady we had before. Independent, strong moral, spirituality, creative, dreamy. May have problems with drug addiction. I will say the right side of the face, that right jowl, comes out a lot more. So that's elements of a Jupiter face shape broader at the base, lower at the top. So that would show that in public he presents as being more outgoing, gregarious, moralistic. Jupiter's the biggest planet and it's the king of the gods. So this is all AI, someone said. True. I'm not even real. I'm a CIA hoax. Mostly choleric, I think. It doesn't seem super phlegmatic in the body. Head's kind of tilted down, but I'm just going to assume that's level. So things, plans, and acts in the long term. Serious, diligent, energy. Long nose, thoughtful, and patient. There's some interesting asymmetry with the eyes and eyebrows. I think what this is the left side of his face, he has a bigger inner face. Right side of his face, smaller inner face. So and look at his ears too, there's some asymmetry there. So in his private and personal life and by nature, he's much more sensitive and independent, intellectual, much more Neptunian. So I could see this guy being like a new age type, right? Neptunian types always. I was telling my Discord subscribers, if you want to find examples of Neptune face shapes, just watch New Age YouTube channels. The ladies doing that always have the Neptune face. Some guys too. But then in public, he's more stress resistant, conformist, normal, outgoing, gregarious. But on the whole, very small mouth, very quiet, reserved, thoughtful, and thin upper lip, hesitant to express himself. But yeah, I think that's that for him. Pretty good face, deep thinker. Who's next?
I think we got Egg Yolk USA.
Let's go.
Email.
Whoa! Mogger alert. Alerta de Mog. Holy crap. First off, this guy looks nothing like an egg yolk, so I think he may have been lying to us. Very strong. First off, Mars face. It's kind of short. I might even say some Earth face. I don't know. The forehead's too high and broad. The chin's too strong. We'll just call it a Mars. Rectangular, pure Mars face. Aggressive, impulsive, has an impulse to fight and kill. A natural warrior, high testosterone. The flip side is that they're also very generous. So I'm a Mars face, mostly actually. Not to say that I'm as Martian as this guy. This guy is the god Mars. But so I know this from experience. Mars face people, they feel very intensely. They love and hate with equal intensity. So if you're on their good side, they'll shower you with gifts. They love you. But if you get on their bad side, they hate you and they want to destroy you. Trump is a Mars face. Nick Fuentes is a Mars face. Mars face people tend to get very successful because they're so aggressive and driven, but then they crash out on each other. So you see similar asymmetry with eyes and eyebrows. The last guy, so the left side of the face is bigger, so he's more sensitive in private and by nature, but over time he's become more detached and more stubborn as well. The eyebrows flatter. Nose is kind of medium length. Wide mouth, so he's very good at getting what he wants out of life. And then people saying Paleo-Atlantid. Yeah, some sort of Paleo Cro-Magnet type, maybe Dalophalid. But yeah, wide mouth people, talkative, sociable, get what they want out of life, especially with that strong chin. Now, the ears were the thing that interested me the most. First off, big upper third, strong intellectual interest here, actually. This guy's not a total meathead, although he does look sanguine, so he's very, I don't have a side profile here, but strong chin, square jaw, slanting forehead. Sanguine, so impulsive, short-term runner. Sanguines are more sprinters, cholerics are more marathon people. Chinese spammer in the chat, that's funny. But the right ear is way more widespread than the left ear. So in private and his personal life by nature, he's a pretty normal, dependent guy. But in public And in his professional life, he's actually more independent. This is the opposite of how people usually are. So I think that he relies a lot on his relationships, and he opens up and is much more sensitive in that. But he projects, and over time he had to become this very entrepreneurial, independent figure. So very powerful. We're getting some good submissions. Who's next?
Footballer requests Abigail Spanberger. The new governor of Virginia.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I saw they just had their election, and they put out bills to legalize crime and ban crackers. Nice nose. I'll just wait until because my stream's on a delay until I see the chuddies activate from the nose comment. But pure choleric, no melancholic sensitivity, so very willful, bossy, commanding, boss controller. Let's see, she's got her family here. I don't want to be a creep about it, but is her husband phlegmatic? A little phlegmatic. Cute, sweet family. We won't attack people for having a family, but we won't attack people at all here. We're here to be objective. This isn't not a political pundit show. Long face. I want to find a picture of her not smiling to see if I can kind of narrow forehead. Here's another one. U.S. Elite Physique. I think the forehead here looks actually kind of like a moon, like a longer moon, or maybe a Neptune forehead. That pointy chin, though, the longer face, can really only make me think of a Mercury. So she's very sharp, big in her face too, so very sensitive. Good communicator, probably. Look at that very wide mouth, so very avaricious. I mean, look at that. It's like she gets what she wants out of life very much, especially with those big teeth. So very ferocious. Look at that strong chin too. The curved nose shows deep, rich passions she goes off of. Now what's really interesting here, look at the upper eyelid asymmetry. That shows, and this is from Mac Fulfer's book, Amazing Face Reading. I should say before, positive canthal toe, obviously, so that adds some more very driven, powerful, rebellious, assertive. So this is like a ferocious, this is, I'd say, a wolf woman as well. Like a wolf, maybe more fox with the mercurial element, especially with those little mercurial ears. Anyways, that full left upper eyelid. So that shows that she wants to, but thin right upper eyelid. So that shows that she wants to express herself, and she wants to other people to know about her and to, really share herself with other people. But she doesn't care to learn about other people in return. She doesn't actually care much about other people's personal lives, but she, her private inner world, she's very expressive with that, but other people she doesn't care too much for. Look at that asymmetry. Very weird, kind of concerning. Yeesh. But yeah. Who's next?
I think we got, let's see, a question from Andrew, who says, what does this mean? Lips which are very full top to bottom, but very short side to side.
I answered that one earlier. I talked to him about that.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Well, he sent another question also.
Let's hear it.
He said, why would one develop very hooded eyes later in life after not having them at all?
Stress response, because hooded eyes stand for independence, protecting your peace, detachment, personal space. for the same reason that people get more phlegmatic or bald or Mars-faced over time. Because people with very full upper eyelids, they're very intimate, very emotionally expressive, stuff like that. All right. This is awkward. I gotta take a break.
Okay.
All
We
right.
got,
I'll go wash
we
my
got
hands.
one from Shiitake, whose email is Trevor
Kuhel.
Kuhel.
Yes.
And also, I think we maybe, if we missed you at the beginning, we'll figure it out. But I think we maybe missed a couple people at the beginning
Yeah.
that sent their things really early.
And for the record, I did wash my hands. This room is right next to the bathroom. The bathroom is literally right there. So this way was quick. We're not gross here. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's see. Where this guy's eyes level to is. To that middle area there. This is I think it's a choleric with a sanguine chin. Maybe just sanguine. I don't know. He's doing the thing that a lot of my male clients do. They'll send the picture like this, and they'll be like, "Am I sanguine, bro?" It's like, I don't know. You gotta adjust. But people do that kind of naturally because they say, "Oh, keep your chin up." But yeah, people are calling him a gnome, an elf. I'm gonna say mostly sanguine, maybe slightly choleric forehead. Okay. And so this guy is going to be enthusiastic, impulsive, very intense. Look at that canthal tail. Oh my gosh. So this guy's super rebellious, super aggressive, assertive, wide mouth, very avaricious, gets what he wants out of life. Somewhat short nose, action oriented, especially because it's a concave nose. This guy looks Borby phenotype. That's what type he is. Big round head. My father's Borby. So he could fit in well. He looks very Danish, maybe Norwegian, North German. And yeah, eyes. I think eyes are mostly protruding. Hard to say. But yeah, very mischievous. Impulsive, quick thinking, quick reacting. Let's see, what's the face shape? I guess maybe Pluto, if you're not counting the Norwood at the top there. Maybe Earth, like very grounded, pragmatic, direct, straightforward, action-oriented. And a wider set eyes, so more, I don't know. Maybe they're just average width. Because a lot of phone cameras make your eyes look more wide set than they are. People saying he looks Polish or Russian. They have Borobis in Poland, so he could be that. But yeah, and thin lips. So not super expressive, not super in touch with his own inner world. Much more action-oriented, appetite-oriented even. Very aggressive, mischievous, funny little guy. I think the gnome thing was correct, whoever said that. All right. Who is next?
We have, let's see, Bueve Nobin, who sent an email, says it's from Guido Penruddock.
Here we go. A Guido. Hey, hey. Looks I was gonna say Grace Ahmed, but hold on. Looks mostly it looks very Armenoid. Probably Latorid, like Armenoid Med kind of mix. So kind of droopy eyebrows. So there's some fearfulness, paranoia there. Thin sun upper lip, hesitant to express his true feelings. Smaller but wide-splayed ears. So independent yet easily influenced, kind of like Candace Owens or clavicular. People are saying he's Sicilian with high Arab. I could see that with kind of an Orientalid element. Choleric forehead, but rest is melancholic. So sensitive, nervous, quick thinking, needing for outside validation. Curved nose, deep, rich passions. Very sensitive, emotional sort of face. Although the face shape, mostly Saturn. Square chin going up to square forehead there. Saturn, a little bit of moon as well. A little bit of lunar roundness. Not a ton. It's subtle. But mostly Saturnian. So not a full like melancholic Mercury, where he's like very sensitive and flighty. Stabilized by that Saturnian face shape. So more of a diligent, pessimistic, quiet, kind, hardworking type. I see a lot of, there's full upper eyelids, need for intimacy, but I see a lot of kindness here. So, all right, who is next?
We got D Pool. Sent an email from Brick Buffalo.
Chinese, English, Irish. Real. All right. We're just going off of this. No, I'm just showing us his forehead. Let's see. Oh, he already mirrored him and everything? All right. Mostly choleric. Okay, so let's see. Round. Probably moon face, I think. Long nose, so thoughtful, patient, small mouth, quiet, reserved, introverted kind of guy. The eye asymmetry is interesting. And let's look at the references you already gave us. So left side, true inner self. Face shape looks a little more Venusian here, so a little more confident, romantic, diplomatic, intelligent. More positive canthal tilt too, so more assertive in private in his personal life. But let's look at his left side. More circular lunar face. This means he's more childlike. He's more passive, moody, rhythmic. More negative canthal tilt. So this means that he is much more conciliatory, giving, people-pleasing, kind, probably, and more passive for sure, sensitive. Yeah, this is a common case. Left side mogs the right side, and so his inner self. This is kind of almost like, I don't want to say this necessarily, but kind of like with Elliot Rodger, and there's a lot of other people that this is the case for, clients of mine and celebrities, where the left side has stronger, better features than the right side, but there's some sort of psychological blockage that is making them project as this kind of weaker false self and deny their true self, even though their true self is stronger and better. And eyebrows, left side more curved, right side more straight. I don't know, they look pretty similar. although the space between the tragus and antitragus is huge, that's like Hitler level tragus space. Not to be weird, but great speaking ability, underlying speaking ability. But those thin lips, small mouth, sad, negative canthal eyes, that's got to be cultivated. There's some sort of psychological blockage here. My advice to you is get out of your comfort zone, get out of your house, force yourself to do things, social things, physical things, things with your body, whatever it is. Get out of your mind, get off the computer, out of your apartment, and maybe someday you can look like this, hopefully. More assertive, confident, Venusian, diplomatic. Bring out your choleric side. So, speaking. All right. Yeah, the party in the CIA. True, this is a party in the CIA. I am a CIA agent, actually. I left my badge at home, but yeah, CIA Mossad paid me so that I could get anonymous pictures of random people to train the Palantir drones off of. Alas, but the okay, looks mostly I'd call it phlegmatic. He's not super heavyset. This is actually a good case study for where you can be phlegmatic and not be, fat, quote unquote. But you see the softer jawline, high forehead, level chin. Someone said hilariously Celtic looking. True, pure Celtic Norded. This guy looks crazy Irish. Oh my gosh. Where's this guy from? Boston? Or maybe actual Ireland? His name's Jack too, so looks like a mostly Jupiter face shape. See that reverse trapezoid shape gets broader towards the base, narrower towards the forehead. So this guy is jolly, jovial. Jovial comes from Jove, which is a nickname for Jupiter. He says he's part Scottish. That fits too. Celtic Norded. Long, straight nose, rational, deep thinker. These are all kind of like indirect photos. But that's good because they aren't selfies, they aren't distorting everything. Negative canthal tilt, so conciliatory, kind, people pleaser. I wouldn't say that's too much of a bad trait in this case because that fits pretty well with Jupiter and phlegmatic. Just like a nice guy, like a good dude to have around. High set eyebrows too, which is usually women have high set eyebrows, but this means he's much more considerate, contemplative, slow to choose, slow to decide, slow to judge. My dog has passed now, unfortunately. Rip dog, rest in peace dog. F's in the chat for his dog. It looks like a good dog. I had a dog like that growing up. But yeah, droopy left eyelid, maybe some trauma in the past that you're hiding away from, especially with that thin lower lip, out of touch with your own inner world of morals and emotions, and that moon, high and narrow moon upper lip shape. That is the moon upper lip, blurry, imaginative communication style. Someone said you have a Tucker Carlson vibe. That's true. It's the Celtic Norded phenotype. Tucker Carlson or Piers Morgan. Same race as those guys. You have the Anglo-American elite phenotype, which is neat. Also phlegmatic, kind of a Jupiter face thing. A little bit of, I'd say it's less of a sun face thing going than Tucker Carlson. So he kind of lacks the aristocratic aloofness, much more personable. Good drinking buddy, I think. All right, who's next?
Next is Jonathan Perez with the 50 email.
Right, the couples photo.
Mr. and Mrs. Yeah.
All right, let's get them. All right. She looks mostly rather robust. Phenotypically, maybe like Alpinid, actually. Yeah, Alpinid. And he's more of a Denard. So this is a classic Austrian couple. These guys look Hispanic, but you can find them in Spain too. Mediterranean. All right. Mostly choleric, kind of melancholic bow there. Maybe melancholic jawline. So mostly serious, commanding, long-term thinker. May lose energy in the long term. Kind of get worn out, become more melancholic, moody, sensitive over time. Very curved nose, deep, rich passions. Eyes protrude out. Speak off the cuff. Speak your mind quite easily. Wide splayed ears, nice, independent. Flat across eyebrows, very stubborn. Full upper eyelids, need for intimacy and connection. Sun upper lip, communication style, not super warm or seductive or dreaming, imaginative, very direct, factual, a little cold maybe. Looks like a mostly Venus face shape. I don't know. Could be Pluto, I think. So, like a Mars, but more loyal, more able to endure in the long term, less impatient, less impulsive. The lady looks mostly sanguine, maybe a slightly choleric forehead, but women are neotenous, so women tend to have rounder foreheads, even if they're sanguine or melancholic. So I'll call her mostly sanguine with maybe a choleric forehead. So that's a good match. More melancholic, more sanguine, so he's a little more moody, sensitive. She's a little more passionate, outgoing, enthusiastic. That's a great match. Short upturned nose, again, another good match. He has a longer curved nose, convex nose. She has a short concave nose. So he's very thoughtful, pessimistic, gloomy, long-term. She is more short-term, impulsive, let's do this, let's do that, action-oriented, wants to get out and do things. Positive canthal tilt, aggressive, assertive, especially in the personal life. Very expressive and open, in touch with her own feelings. You can see that upturned nose, impatient, impulsive, very round tip of the nose though, so very kind, round nostrils, so romantic, sensual disposition. Eyebrows are kind of upward swooping a little bit, so there's some impulsivity, maybe a little irresponsibility there, especially with that concave nose. Yeah, very round tip. Enjoys the finer things in life, to be sure. But yeah, so he is he's the thinker, and then she's the doer. He's the sensitive, thoughtful, considerate one. She is the action-oriented, enthusiastic, optimistic, impulsive one. Have you considered doing a matchmaking service? I have indeed, and I'm going to be doing a matchmaking service. Launching it as like a full website and stuff, and it's going to be like next level, not just like a swiping thing, like a full on, like you pay one time and then we match you up with like someone, and the service only ends when you have kids. So we're going to be breeding new race of superhumans. All right, who is next?
Okay, next is Muni Gosa. I don't know how to pronounce it again, but sent an email from Lamley Bear. Lieber Lam, yeah.
Lieber Lam.
So yeah.
I was a Buddhist monk for 30 years. Cool. We also have a guy who is or was going to become a Buddhist monk in the description. He is CIA. Nice. I like that people think I'm a CIA agent now. It makes me feel cool. So this bloke, we've got another Neptune face. Another oblong Neptune face shape. I probably could have guessed that, given that he was a monk for a time. Very spiritual. You see that crease on the right side in between the eyebrows? That shows some sort of worry or frustration in the professional life, in the career. short upturned nose. That's very interesting for a Neptune face, and especially for a Buddhist monk. This shows that he's action oriented. He doesn't want to think about things. He wants to actually go do things. This may be why monasticism appealed to you, because they're all about monastic practice and doing. Someone said he's a good quest giver. That's so real. Round tip, very kind. Ears bulge in the upper third mostly. Especially in the youth, they're very wide splayed, so very independent. Became less so over time. Monastic life will do that to you. Those dudes as well. Small mouth, quiet, very full lower lip, very into his own world, very deep set eyes. Over time has gotten, in the youth, very practical, action oriented, more personable. Now he's a little more sharp, intellectual. Right eyebrow looks a little arched, hard to tell with the photo quality, but public professional life may be a little more controlling, a little more aggressive, assertive. But I can't say 100%. But yeah, good example of a Neptune face. All right, who's next?
Next, I think we kind of skipped over. Okay, yeah, the first one was on YouTube. It was Camille, but the email was from Jack Graham, and you clicked on the email, but you only went over it for a minute. So
yeah, I wasn't sure if he had paid or not.
Yeah, he did say I. It's just that he didn't put the thing in the super chat. So, but we figured it out.
Sorry, Jack. Sorry, we missed you. I hope you're still watching, because I wanna get this. So, receding chin, slightly collared forehead. So there's some intellectual patience and long-term orientation there, but mostly melancholic. So I think the so there's a lot of sensitivity here, receptivity, need for outside validation, sadness, nervousness. So the eyes, not to insult you, but the eyes remind me a lot of Sam Altman. So very deep set. So you're very reserved, calculating, withdrawn. Very full upper eyelids. So you have a need for intimacy and closeness. So you're, especially with a small mouth and upper lip, you want to reach out and connect with other people, especially with that melancholic need for outside validation, but you have a lot of difficulty doing that. You overthink too much. Stop thinking. Your forehead, big collar forehead is overpowering you, and you're overthinking everything. Especially you look at the eyebrows, they're drooping down. That shows fearfulness, paranoia, timidness. Especially with that face shape looks mostly Venus, so there is a strong need for romance, love and being loved. Look at the downturned corners, pessimistic too. And the eyes, last thing I'll say, and this is another thing that reminds me of Sam Altman, the eyes are close set. So they are he has a high disgust impulse. He's very detail oriented. So this is actually where the advantage comes in. I could see, and maybe you might need this yourself, but I think counseling, life coaching, event planning, perhaps, anything aesthetic, artistic, because you have an orientation towards detail. You can be nitpicky. So this way you can connect with people. I think you should really look to connect with people first on an intellectual level, where you use that detail focus to really pick out the things that are wrong or whatever, and then you can kind of connect with them more through there. But use your mind, use your intellect, let it work for you and not against you. But yeah, you've got to get the intellect, the head and the heart in harmony. There's some conflict there. Now I think there's some self-sabotage going on there. But yeah, who's next? Anyone else
Next we got
we missed, or that's the oldest email I have from here. So
we got a question from Andrew again, who says, "Tell us more stories about your experience with Arabic language or Arab world. Maybe at the end of the stream."
I'll just do that real quick because I did not expect this many messages come in. We're almost at 500 viewers, which is absurd to me. Abram actually prepared celebrities for me to read because I thought we would get like a tiny trickle. I thought I'd have to fill time, but now it's too much. I'll tell it quickly. I went to Ole Miss, University of Mississippi. Absolute waste of a school. It's just where Southern rich elites use their plantation money to send their kids to get drunk and fornicate at the fraternities and sororities and tailgate and football, SEC, and football's all right, but Ole Miss is too much. But they have a really good Arabic program. It's kind of a separate thing apart from the rest of the school culture. And I went there, I learned Arabic, I was really good at it, spent 5 years studying it, did a 5th year study abroad in Morocco after I graduated, took my wife with me and everything, and it's cool, it's neat. You can't really find a job with it because AI. So, language learning is kind of a waste of time. I did meet Abram. Abram and I met in the Arabic program, actually. And we learned about physiognomy while we were studying abroad in Jordan. So it all worked out in the end. That's my experience with Arabic. It's a neat language, and I want to keep up with it. I like journal sometimes with it. Like I write esoteric secrets in my grimoire in Arabic. It's
a fun language.
It is a very fun language. It has a nice system. It's very beautiful. Might have to stop taking orders. Yeah. Abram, do you know how to like cut off like new super chats? Because this might go all day.
You could just put it in the. Can you just put it in like where you have the words on the screen? Just say closed.
The pinned comments. All right.
Close the face reading thing. We could probably still take chats, but
yeah. I've got enough now. I'm putting it in now. Get him in now. All right. I'm going to wait a little bit for people to hear that, for it to catch up. But anyone who's sent stuff already, we're going to keep reviewing that, and we're still going to answer questions in Super Chats. So, going to send that in.
Veronica with the buzzer beater.
I know, yeah. Buzzer beater for sure. Okay. Real. That was good. Yeah, I'm glad my wife pointed that out because okay. Who is next?
Make sure you just put it on the screen there that chats are closed so people don't keep sending them.
Gosh, right, yeah.
What do you think if people keep sending them? Would you want to do them like on the next one?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Can you go back and see old ones?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So if you guys want to send your face in, we'll just get it on the next stream. But we're gonna shut down for this stream.
Yeah, I got way more than I thought. I'm honored, you guys, but we're gonna keep looking them. Someone said, "Are you Ferengi?" Deep Space Nine mentioned Duo Cardassian. This is, when people on TikTok they say For You page getting too local. This is like that for me. You guys are talking about my special interests too much. All right, who's next?
Next we have Say It Ain't So. It's an email name from Cade, I think.
Cade Perkins. All right. Interesting. The sanguine melancholic intersection. So I'd say this guy, based on the body and stuff, I'd say mostly a sanguine with a melancholic chin. So people are saying, someone said do a Cardassian like the alien from Star Trek. Someone's saying please don't do any Kardashians. It's funny. The age-old joke. All right, so this guy's very impulsive, very impatient, spontaneous, action-oriented. He presents as being very nervous and charming, sensitive, humorous, witty. But over the long term, once you get to meet him, he becomes very enthusiastic, optimistic, confident. So there's like hidden confidence, hidden sanguineness. Deep set eyes, so very reserved, calculating. Wide set eyes with a negative canthal tilt, so very tolerant, spacey, big picture, focused, conciliatory, kind. I suspect this guy is autistic because I have these eyes somewhat. My good friend Nicholas, who was another student in Morocco, Mormon guy, he had these eyes. I see these a lot on autistic guys, widespread eyes with the negative canthal tilt. But the very thin lips, and see that thin lower lip, very out of touch with his own inner world. I feel that. I'm the same way. Very inexpressive as well. Very quiet, reserved, small mouth, thin lips. Not apt to express himself to others. And you see the right side here, more lunar, more tolerant, spacey, moody, passive. Left side, much stronger, much more angular, much more assertive, driven. Slight senpaku eyes as well. So there's some underlying stress that's being repressed here. Ooh. So yeah, and see the left third of the ear bulges out, interested in social and emotional things. But jawline is crazy though. It's a good, strong jaw. Good side profile. But there's the melancholic element is really what makes it interesting to me. And a long, straight nose, so very level-headed, practical. This guy seems very high IQ, I think. Because he does remind me a lot of my friend Nicholas. And I think people saying he looks two-faced. That's just masking. That's just like I don't act as autistic as I'd like to be if I'm, I don't know, at the family reunion or whatever. Extremely deep-set eyes. That's true. Very calculating, withdrawn. Someone says has loose lips. He does not have loose lips. He's calculating and withdrawn and reserved. His lips aren't loose enough. He doesn't express himself enough. He overthinks. So, who's next?
Next we have Cringen Freud Desad. Email. Says it's a proton mail email.
Oh, hey, what's up? I don't know what you're sending them in for. I already analyzed you, but this guy is actually a paid client of mine. Real G. I'll get you on live stream too. So, what was the guy's name? Freud inside. Yeah. Okay, he just confirmed that was him on there. People are saying jail. Hey, don't hate on people with goatees. They're awesome. This is just, you guys can't handle what a real American patriot looks like. Mostly choleric, maybe phlegmatic, but very sanguine forehead. So the intellect is very impulsive, impatient, long, straight nose, thoughtful, contemplative, stubborn, flat across eyebrows, lots of intellectual effort put in with those forehead creases. Probably neutral canthal tilt, so good balance perspective. Very balanced and level-headed in action, in practice. Intellectually, mentally, very quick, kind of impulsive. Deep-set eyes, very calculating. Yeah, so the left eye has a more negative canthal tilt, so he's more people-pleasing, kind, with that droopy eyebrow, maybe a little more kind of fearful in his private life. But the right eye is more, positive, so he's more assertive. And yeah, thin lower lip, kind of out of touch with his own inner world, not really sure how he feels, what he thinks, much more action-oriented, especially. And that quick intellect, I should say, is oriented towards material ends, practical, monetary ends, because of that big lower third, that big brow ridge there. But yeah, these super chats are too much, man. Not the super chats, the live chat is too much. These guys are saying he's Aryan Brotherhood. And maybe. He's tough. He has like a warrior kind of look. Well, it's because he has kind of a Moon and Mars mixture on the face. So warlike, aggressive, but there's a lot of passion and moodiness, intensity.
By the way, Kay, the last guy, says, you read me like a book, LOL.
That's crazy. All right. Who's next?
Sugar Snake, or Sugar Serpent. Email from XJR.
Name XJR. Did you send it in euros?
Yes.
Okay. Dr. Robotnik. It's a very low set ear, so very cautious, very calculating, wants to do things right, gathers information slowly. Big earlobes too. Materialistic, strongly interested in practical matters. Phenotype, well, it could be like Arab or Indian. I could see this guy being Punjabi. This guy has an opposite of what that Spanberger lady had, which is that people said Eggman, yeah. But anyway, she had fuller right eyelid. He has a thinner. She had a fuller left eyelid. He has a fuller right eyelid. Mother-in-law asking if I need anything. That's sweet. So he wants to get to know people. He wants to have intimacy. He wants to learn people's secrets and stuff and get to know them, be really socially involved. But he doesn't actually, he's more hesitant to express himself and to tell people how he really is deep down. People said Turkish wrestler, circus performer. All true, all possible. I could see Turkish for this guy. I could see Turkish for myself, honestly, if I didn't know myself. Phlegmatic with a bow of melancholy, so good, long-term visionary, very tolerant, very enduring. Mostly round moon face, so moody, sensitive, maybe a little passive. Curved eyebrows, consensus-oriented, more so in public, some intellectual effort. But yeah, and maybe I'm seeing a bit from the kind of eccentric beard there. But I do see a lot of passion, a lot of artistry. Especially, because the eyes in general do kind of bug out some, so he's very expressive, very just out there with his emotions. I think he's yeah. Overall, yeah, passion. I think circus performer did have it right because this guy is like someone who lives his art. but not super impulsive. There's some caution there. Yeah, good like poet phenotype, good artist physiognomy for sure. Who's next?
Next, we have, I think, $50 from Pelagius Lobo, and they had two people. Oswald Spangler was the first one, and I'm trying to find. They sent somebody else for the second one, so just you probably do Oswald Spangler while I work on finding this other one.
Spangler, my man. I love this guy. I'm big into continental philosophy, historicism. Spangler's very good. Good analysis that is ultimately lacking in any sort of transcendent element. So it kind of falls short if you want a comprehensive thing. But phlegmatic with a bow of melancholy. So he is patient, thinks, plans, and acts in long term. Visionary, long-term thinker, fairly tolerant. But you see that bow of melancholy. There's some added sensitivity there, reactivity. Curved, beaked, bird-like nose, so lots of deep passions. Very interesting. He has the opposite of the Sam Altman eyes, where for him, they're bulging out, they're protruding, but they're hooded. And so he wants to be very socially involved. He wants to speak out. He wants to speak and be heard. Does not want to be interrupted, but he is quite detached, cold, independent when he does so. So he really has no strong need for intimacy. And look here. Pretty thin lower lip. Fuller upper lip than lower lip. So he's very good at external analysis. This is actually the combination I have. Very good at external analysis. Talking with others, giving his opinion on the outside world, but kind of a poor inner world where it's not too strong on the feelings and whatnot, and understanding his own convictions. And that's Spangler's thing. If you read Spangler, it's just like detached mechanical analysis of civilizations. But when you ask him, like, okay, well, what do we do? Or is there a God or anything? He's like, I don't know. He only talks about, like, how Christianity is expressed by different cultures and art and stuff, but he doesn't address, like, is Christianity true? Is God real? Is anything right or wrong? He's like, it just all goes in cycles and it doesn't really matter. I would say also probably mostly Neptune face, independent, big picture, visionary, fantastical. But yeah. Stubborn eyebrows too, and a lot of frustrations. Kind of looks like my grandpa, actually. All right, who's the next guy?
I think I have lost the other person who Pelagius Lobo wanted, but I will look for that. And then the next one is from Otto van Bismarck, who sent an email from Max, I think.
Okay, so Max, here, face reading for Max Holman. Here we go. It was from 40 minutes ago. These came in fast, so we're just now catching up with them. All right. They're clowning on you for saying Otto van Bismarck.
That was his name.
Oh.
It was Autovan Bismarck. It's like a pun.
Oh, okay. Genius.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Take that, chuddies.
Yeah. Take that.
No, I love you. I love you all, and I'm not gonna say that. Mostly melancholic, some underlying phlegmatic long-term energy. So, quick, sensitive, thinker and actor, need for outside validation, somewhat impulsive and patient, but stable long-term energy of action. So in the long term, he chills out. He's very tolerant, enduring, Droopy left eyelid, some sort of hidden personal life trauma that he's hiding or shying away from subconsciously. Small, wide-splayed ears, those are those Candace Owens conspiracy theorist ears. Independent yet easily influenced. Unibrow symbolizes a disconnect, a breakage between. So you see, this guy actually, he's like me actually. He has breaks between all 3/3 of his face: intellectual, social, emotional, and material, practical. So, especially with that eyebrow, that unibrow there, I should say, he's a little colder. Very strong intellectual effort. Look at the forehead creases, full lips, where they're kind of overly full like that. It can stand for timidness, actually. But otherwise, just in general, very full. Both lips very full, so very in touch with his own emotions and very expressive of them. So this guy's a very open, friendly guy. Look how the eyes kind of bulge out. This guy is giving like very, very kind German to me. Like very kind German. I don't know, like laborer. Maybe I'm just thinking that because of the auto thing, but like car mechanic. Mostly moon face, like very round. So, moody, little passive, sensitive in his feelings, kind of rhythmic. People are saying he looks Finnic. He could be Finnish, could be Fingolian, could be English. But yeah, this is good. Like this is a good like old European phenotype. Like put this guy in a bowler hat and beef his mustache up a little bit. And be like, oh, good morning, old chum. How you doing tonight? Put him in the West Country. And this one, he looks much more German. You see those big ears, the small wide-splayed ears. So he's very easily influenced, but he's very independent in his action, self-driven. People saying he looks Dutch. He's white. He looks like a European, I guess. He looks like every European type. Who's next? Waiter, more faces, please.
Pelagius Lobo says the other person they wanted was Grottendick. I don't know who.
How do I spell that?
That is. They spelled it Grottendick, but I couldn't find anything on Google for it.
I don't know who that is. I said Grottendick enough. I don't know if we're going to find it. Baby Yoda AI. I got to escape. I'm going to...
It might be with an E, like
Grottendick. I looked that up, but I couldn't find anything. Turn safe search on for this one, big dog.
Alexander Grottendick.
Yeah.
Alexander Grottendick. Okay, yeah. Grothendick.
Grottendick. Here we go. How do I turn safe search on? I don't remember if I had it on or off. I think I was looking for like a meme and Okay, so this is why you want this guy read, because he's an interesting fella. So this guy looks mostly sanguine. You look here, look at that, square jaw, pronounced chin. Impulsive, impatient, charismatic. Looks kind of evil. He reminds me of Foucault or Anton LaVey, Nicholas Schreck. Probably mostly a Mars face shape. Maybe Saturn over Mars even. Very, maybe just Saturn. So very meticulous, diligent, focused. Aren't that many? They're all kind of blurry. Curved nose shows deep passions. Low set eyebrows, I should say, very quick to judge. Like no good pictures of this guy. Larger interface. Well, no, maybe smaller. Arched eyebrows, competitive, controlling. That's about all I can say, I think. And wide splayed ear shows he's independent. That's about all I can say, I think. I don't want to spend too much time on that because the images aren't very good. I don't want to bore everyone. Who's next?
I think I lost the list. I'm trying to. I'm sorry.
He dropped it.
Find the. I'm fumbling the. I don't know. Kill or like. Need some time here to figure this out. I'm trying to look for these.
Well, someone said.
Do some funny jokes or impressions or something.
I'll go ahead and do this one. This guy said to open this one. He sent one. Disguised oaf. Choleric with a bow of melancholy. So mostly long-term thinker and actor. Willful, bossy, commanding, but some added sensitivity. That's a good combo. Very powerful. A lot of successful people have that. Is there a lot on the list? Yeah, there's a ton of people on the list. Pluto face shape, so like a Mars, aggressive, assertive, willful, impulse to fight, but more loyal, more better with the long-term stuff. Malcolm X had a Pluto face shape. Small but wide splayed ears, so again, independent yet easily influenced, apt to kind of get onto kind of crazy ideas, conspiracy theories and stuff. Venus upper lip, this is our first real strong Venus upper lip, so the communication style, warm, seductive, smooth talking, good at convincing people. Eyebrows are very long, very premeditated, likes to plan ahead, also flat, rather stubborn, somewhat high set, showing he's a bit more considerate, likes to take his time when making decisions. Long nose, very thoughtful, patient, and somewhat smaller mouth, so it's a bit more quiet, reserved, very in touch with his own inner world. Good face. It's like a long Pluto, so it has that Plutonian power, but it's very intellectual and more abstract. Low set ears. Yeah, so pretty low set ears as well, so very cautious, calculated. That fits with the Plutonian choleric thing. Let me see. Let's see.
You ready for the next one?
Yeah.
So you did, Max was the last one you did, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next one is Truth to Power. Says do Brandon Biggs.
All right. Maybe send an email for that.
I think they're wanting you to. It's a
yeah.
Public figure.
Yeah, celebrity reading. Oh, this guy. Wait. No. It's this. Right. They asked about this guy in the Discord, the prophet. This guy predicted that Trump would be shot in the ear.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Copy pasted the link instead of clicking it. Okay. Let's see. So this guy, very phlegmatic, visionary, tolerant, very accepting, thinks, plans, and acts in the long term. Pastor's eerie prophecy. I love eerie prophecies. How do you feel about eerie prophecies, Abram?
I think they're eerie.
Ugh. Don't scare me. I hate that word. So forehead creases, intellectual effort. See that strong crease in the middle? There's some sort of big worry or frustration in his life. Close set ears. He's dependent, conformist, small mouth, kind of hesitant to speak, pessimistic. The eyebrows show a lot of fear, paranoia, maybe some mental health issues. I see those with like I know he's doing a face with this one, but if that was his default face, I would suspect he had schizophrenia from that extreme droopiness. But he's doing a little face for that. You don't see it that much in the other ones, but they're still droopy, showing some fear. Kind of like those Sam Altman eyes as well, where they're very deep set and hooded, but he has very full upper eyelids, so he really wants to connect with people and have intimacy with them, but there's a lot of hesitancy with it. Face shape, probably mostly moon, honestly. Not narrow or long enough to be a Neptune. Maybe sun, maybe kind of detached, aloof. Very small interface too, so very a good amount of stress resistance there. But yeah, I see a lot of fear, moodiness, hesitancy, and caution there. But yeah, interesting stuff. All right, who's next?
Next we have Spurgy Step Barbarian. Sent an email from JC Borg.
Got it.
And I will be right back.
Okay. Ooh. Respect. You guys weren't kidding about everyone having the same facial hair as me. That's funny. I like that. All right, let's go. Pure sanguine. Thinks, plans, and acts in the short term. Short-term runner. Very impulsive, impatient, enthusiastic, optimistic, aggressive. Let's see. Yeah. He does have the cool facial hair. A lot of tattoos, though. But let's see. I would just assume he's sanguine. If he's posing his jaw forward, then fine. Your reading's going to be inaccurate because you made it inaccurate. But I'm just judging based on what I see. Looks mostly... I see some earth. A lot of earth here. Very square, practical, grounded, loyal. Somewhat negative canthal tilt, so conciliatory, kind, people-pleasing. Thinner lower lip, upper lip fuller than lower lip. So very expressive and open to other people, but kind of out of touch with his own inner world, how he really thinks and feels about things. Maybe we'll defer to other people for that. Wide set eyes too indicate stubbornness as well. Full upper eyelids show that he is has a need for intimacy. Now this is kind of weird. If those aren't like shaved or altered somewhat, those upward swooping eyebrows are going to show irresponsibility, fickleness, some squareness, maybe a little bit of Venus, a little romance, but I think mostly practical, grounded, ordinary guy. Maybe on the right side a bit of Jupiter as well. So like more jolly, jovial, outgoing, orderly, kind of commanding, gregarious, generous. Let's see. Okay, so that is that for him. Overall, yeah. The sanguine aspect, Mog's heavy. Oh, he's got the anime figurines behind him, the anime con thing. That's funny that this Mogger, he's an anime guy, but the let's see. Let's go to Creator Studio.
Wait, what are you doing?
Oh, are you back?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, next person.
Next one, I think. Did you already do Trevor Kuel?
I think he sent a second one for him and one for his fiance.
You did both of those
I
already?
just did it him. He sent his fiance later, so I'll do that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Funny man. All right, funny man, make me laugh. Looks mostly melancholic, large earlobes, kind of materialistic. So nervous, sensitive, very high set eyebrows, so very contemplative, considerate, takes a long time to make a decision, wants all the facts and information. Very typical East Asian trait. Negative canthal tilt, kind, people pleasing, somewhat of a larger interface, so quite sensitive, especially with that melancholic element of mind. And moon upper lip. Her communication style is going to be blurry and imprecise. Fairly short nose, so kind of action oriented. But overall looks very kind. I don't think the face shape is actually moon face. I think it's probably mostly Venus. So very romantic, diplomatic, wants to create peace wherever she is. Good sense of aesthetics too. But with that more melancholic thing going on there, more of a hopeless romantic, right? Maybe a little moody, a little insecure with that, and have difficulty expressing her emotions because of that moon upper lip. So, do the cat's facial analysis. The ears, you can tell it's a cat because of the ears, and you can tell it's a cat because of the way that it is. All right, who's next?
Next we have Jerp sends email from John Ryan Papas.
All right. Greetings. All right. So let's go. This is a good one. All right. Looks mostly choleric, sanguine forehead, so impulsive intellect, but energy of actions more long-term enduring. Fairly large interface, pretty sensitive. Looks, I guess, probably like a moon face shape. Moon upper lip, green eyes, those are lunar. So, sensitive, moody, reactive, rhythmic, go in and out of moods. Very full lower lip, so very in touch with your own inner world. Very full upper eyelids, so strong need for intimacy, connection. Negative canthal tilt, people pleasing, considerate, conciliatory. This fits with the lunar thing of being more moody, more passive, kind, receptive. Very widespread ears, so very independent, strong intellectual interest, communication styles blurry, imprecise. But yeah, very moody, emotional, compassionate face. Forehead looks a little straighter, so maybe there's like an added Saturnian element there, or like a Jupiter element. More of the intellect is a little more broad, orderly, rational than a typical moon, I think. Definitely a logical streak there. So, all right, who is next?
Next, we have email from Caleb Ingram.
Caleb I. Here we go. This was 53 minutes ago. We're trying to keep up. I don't want to, underdo anyone's analysis, but
Looks like we only have like 7 more after this.
6 or 7 more. Okay, great. All right, let's do it. Okay, so the looks mostly, he's trying to look sanguine, which is that, but he's mostly choleric. So willful, bossy, commanding. This definitely seems like the bossier kind of choleric, where he's like very focused on work, very focused on getting stuff done, and has no patience for slackers. Low set eyebrows, so very quick to judge, very rapid with that, very judgmental. Pretty arched eyebrows as well, so commanding, controlling, a little jealous. Long, straight nose. People say main character in a video game. You're just saying that because he has the spiky 2000s Limp Bizkit haircut. But the Venus upper lip, I think. So he does have a smooth talking, seductive communication style. Rational, level-headed, positive canthal tilt, very rebellious, and yeah, face shape probably actually Mars mixed with Mercury, rectangle mixed with triangle. So that would be the rebel archetype, warrior plus magician, sword mage, if you want to be a gay nerd about it. And that would be kind of like Edward Snowden, like very strong urge to fight and rebel and combat, but there's some sensitivity there as well, reactivity, quickness of thought. Someone said Beavis. They said Limp Bizkit wore a hat. First off, his name is Fred Durst, and we stand Fred Durst. This is a Limp Bizkit occupied channel. Secondly, everyone in the audience have the spiky hair. You'll watch the music videos. Who's next?
Next, we have Lord Charles de Mont Saint Michel, and they wanted Pete Pardo from the Sea of Tranquility YouTube channel.
Woohoo! Interesting. So this guy has a This is the old internet nerd, like Gen Xer dude. I think the face shape looks, dare I say, mostly Uranus, the philosopher archetype. So that's like a long and narrow Saturn face shape. An exaggeration of the Saturn. So that's like, I'll just call it like I see it, the Jeffrey Epstein face shape. So that's radical, diligent, meticulous, philosophical, radical, out there ideas. Hey, Genesis t-shirt, Seconds Out. That's a great live album. I love old Genesis. But yeah, eyes are wide splayed, so tolerant, big picture focused kind of guy. Generally, although I'd say for him it stands more for spaciness, because as a Uranus he's going to be very detail oriented. Negative canthal tilt, nice guy, conciliatory, very much a giver, less so a taker. And sharp teeth, looks like, so there's some kind of disordered desire there. Fairly long nose as well, so thinker. This guy's very much like just a thinker, creator, very radical. I don't think he really cares that much for what other people think about him too much. Yeah, all of his pictures are the selfies, so but yeah, radical Uranus would also have a very high sex drive, which is one of the weird things about knowing physiognomy, is like you learn stuff like that. Santiago Argeo. Santiago. Grace Ahmed, maybe a little bit of Amarand, but negligible, really. Let's see. There's some pride, some arrogance in this look, contemptuousness. This long, high, arched eyebrow. So he plans ahead, very calculated, kind of controlling, jealous, very considerate, haughty, aloof. Maybe not necessarily aloof. There is some sensitivity there. Face shape looks mostly kind of pointy, triangular, Mercury in the archetype. So witty, funny, artist, good communicator. Sun upper lip, though, mostly. So a little cold. Very big lower lip, so very in touch with his inner world. Negative canthal tilt, so a bit of a people pleaser. For him, I could see that maybe becoming more so resentment because he wants to be in control, he wants to be in charge, but it's hard for him to assert himself and he wants to express himself to other people. So keep doing your art. You got stuff back here. Keep on that. Just keep grinding on it. Treat it like a blue-collar job. Don't treat it like something you do for fun. Force yourself to do it over and over and over again until you get really good at it. And then you'll succeed. But yeah, there's like sensitivity, but there's also a lot of like coldness there, which I think is interesting. But can be a good combination: sensitive, moody, but also kind of cold and like contemptuous of the peons. That's the mix for an artist. So, who next?
The next one is from Larold. I think it's the Larold from...
Yeah, Larold. What's up, Larold? You wanted to be featured on the live then. All right. I think it's Mars with a bit of Moon, so mostly action-oriented, impulse to fight, strong passions, strong emotions. Mars and Moon, it's like yin and yang, fire and water together. So strong actor, but also a deep feeler. High set eyebrows, so very contemplative. Want to take in all the facts before you make a final decision. Positive canthal tilt, decently rebellious and assertive. Not crazy positive, but it's there for sure. I would say probably mostly phlegmatic, so stable, calm, things plans and acts in the long term, very enduring, tolerant, visionary, especially with those slightly wider set eyes, more tolerant, big picture focused, thinner upper lip, not super expressive, kind of withdrawn, smaller eyes, so a little more on the cynical, untrusting side, mostly and vertical ear, like very straight up, not angled back at all, really. Stands for some stability there, pretty steady, reliable, fits well with the phlegmatic element there. But yeah, very slow, kind of cautious, considerate, thoughtful, phlegmatic kind of type. All right, who's next? I don't know. Here's one. Benjamin Carrillo PayPal'd me. Let's just look at this guy until you get it cooked out. All right. Benjamin Carrillo. What a real brother. This guy looks like he should be a member of Cypress Hill. Now, I say that and you don't know what it means, but there's like a 50-year-old guy who's like laughing his butt off at that. So true. Some 50-year-old ex-cholo from Los Angeles. Oh, man, he do look like that. But in all seriousness, I see mostly Mercury, sensitive, good communicator, witty, creative, funny guy. Very full upper eyelids, wants to reach out, create intimacy and connection with other people. Gap between the two front teeth, doesn't care about society's expectations for him. Mostly phlegmatic, especially in the pictures nowadays, so stable, visionary, good at thinking and planning and acting in the long term, good, reliable guy, good friend to have with that. Someone said W ball knowledge because I know Cypress Hill, yeah. Middle third of the ears bulges, so he's very interested in social and emotional things. Smaller eyes, so he's a little cynical, a little untrusting, a little timid from those kind of overly full lips. medium nose, not super long, so a little thoughtful. Very round eyes, so his worldview is very moral and emotional. Um, um, but let's see. Dr. Green Thumb. Yeah, someone. Thank you. Someone knows Cypress Hill. Paging Dr. Green Thumb, especially this first picture. This is a Dr. Green Thumb. Yeah, very full lower lip, so very passionate. So yeah, good. Maybe I'm just thinking this because I have Cypress Hill in the head now, but like good artist physiognomy. Kind of like that last guy, Jorge or whoever it was. All right, who's next?
Next one, I think we'll probably have to refund XIX unless they sent on Instagram because I'm not seeing any.
Let me see.
Any email or anything, but next one would be Veronica, and then who sent an email, and then I think we probably also could get Christopher Keys, who sent his right after the like it was just barely after the.
Okay, so I got Jorge working.
Okay.
I have a ton of Hispanic followers. It's crazy. Oh, I'll go. You're saying it's JD Vance. It is JD Vance because he has the same face shape. He has a combination Earth and Jupiter face shape. So he's very grounded, very loyal, very intimate, very familiar, family guy. You know, it seems today that all you see... I'm not going to finish that joke. It's stupid. But yeah, look at the upper thirds of the ears. Strong intellectual interest. Very expressive upside down mouth. Interesting. So very much a full sun upper lip. So he's very open and expressive with what he thinks with other people. But his communication style is a little cold, distant, withdrawn. Eyebrows are fairly short. So he's pretty spontaneous. Likes to kind of do things on a whim. I say very phlegmatic with a, maybe just sanguine with a very choleric or phlegmatic forehead. So he's very impulsive, impatient. He's patient. He can think and wait a long time, but his energy of action is very charismatic, enthusiastic, energetic, muscle coordinated. Look at that square jawline. Total Chad. Very low set eyebrows too. So very quick to judge. Super deep set eyes too, so he's very calculating. Even though he is very expressive, like once you start talking to him, he'll open up and his mouth's pretty wide, so he'll be very talkative and like very open with what he says, but he will calculate it a lot. Think before he speaks and like measure how he wants to express it, but it will end up being in kind of a direct, blunt, kind of distant way. Very thin upper eyelids too, very independent. And then we can see that here. Pretty much the same thing. He looked a little more Venusian back then, so a little more, that way. But we can still see the very intellectual ears. So, and the forehead creases, strong intellectual effort. Yeah. I like it. It's very powerful, very intense. Look at that. It's sanguine, but look at that very high, steep forehead. There's no bow of melancholy here whatsoever, no sensitivity. So he's like blunt, brutal, direct, straightforward, logical, no bullshit. I like it. I like guys like this. Reminds me of Alabama. Good job, Jorge. All right. Who's next?
Next one is Veronica. I think it was an email.
Yeah. This is the last one. This was the buzzer beater, I believe.
Yeah, there was also... I think we could probably also get that last one.
Yeah.
Christopher.
Veronica.
There's also, we just got a super chat from Dubsky who says, you're right about having all the Hispanic followers, LOL. Has your business been good lately? Hope everything is booming for you. All love, Caleb W.
Yes. What's up, Caleb? Yeah, the business has been going great. The stream is going way better than I thought. My back hurts actually from doing this, and I know that's total like first world problem. Like I tell some construction worker, oh, my back hurts from live streaming all day, man. It's such a killer job. Um, well, Abram, you guys don't know this. Abram works as a land surveyor actually, so he's out on his feet all day.
Yeah.
So, Abram told me the other day. He called me. He said, "My collar's blue, but my neck is red."
No, I'm a construction worker, and my back hurts from this live stream.
Yeah, for real. But what's up, Caleb? Yeah, I do have Hispanic fans. All right, Veronica, let's go. A little Venus maybe, but I see mostly Mars. Square Mars, or maybe I'm seeing more of Earth. I'll go with Earth. Spunky, direct, logical, practical, loyal, family-oriented, no BS. A bit of Mars there, so a bit of a fighting spirit there, especially with those sharp, upturned eyebrows. A little quick, irresponsible maybe. Let's see. Positive, canthal tilt. So very assertive, aggressive, rebellious. Wide set eyes too, so big picture. Generally pretty tolerant, but when it comes to your own stuff and your own interests, again, there's no bullshit. Pardon my French. Let's see. Fairly thin sun upper lip. So again, your communication style is very direct, maybe a little cold, deep emotions, but tip of the nose looks mostly round. So overall, like kind, but I see a lot of strength, aggression, practicality here. So Vanellope Schweetz. Hello. You were saying, how often do I do these? This is my first time doing this, but I'm thinking, since this has gone so well, I might make this a semi-regular thing. Might even have to set a quota at the start of like how many. We're doing like the first 10 super chats and that's it. Or speed them up. Because I wanted to do these like real in-depth, but there's just so many. So, who's next? Nickel Van Stralen, right?
No, it's Christopher Keys.
Chris Keys, okay.
Yeah, Nickel. We'll do Nichols on the next. Well, he'll be the first one on the next stream.
Yeah, we'll get him. I'm going to mark all those, and we're going to get those next. All right, last one, Chris Keys. If we did not get yours, we'll get them next time. They're saved permanently on the thing. Your email you sent me, I'm going to mark it, set it aside, and get it for next time. Let me go ahead before I forget. Just get everyone in. All right. Okay,
we also just got a super chat. Got a super chat from Kazardine. Says, what difference would 5% indigenous DNA have on your overall look? I'm 95% European, but the 5% definitely shows.
It depends on what the European and the indigenous are. I mean, that's the thing is like, it's hard to say because sometimes these physiognomic elements, these phenotypic racial elements can come back out of nowhere suddenly in the line. It's called atavism, evolutionary throwback. And sometimes that can depend on environment, right? So like I suspect if you were 5% Mexican from like a great-great-great-grandparent, but your family moved down and you were born and raised in the tropics or born and raised fighting or whatever, you might end up looking more Aztec than any of your ancestors. They see this a lot in South Africa, like among the mixed people. You have two white people get together, they have basically like a light-skinned black child, just because there's such a long history of mixing. Anyways, this guy, choleric with a sanguine forehead. This guy looks like Tyler Robinson. Long, so lots of sensitivity there, very quick, impatient, impulsive intellect, but very strong will. He looks like Tyler Robinson or Charlie Kirk. They looked very similar, especially in the side profile. Choleric with a sanguine forehead, like Hitler, interestingly. So that's good for thinking on your feet, very willful, good, hard worker. Very nice. Monsieur Chris Keys. Straight vertical ears, so there is some stability there. Close set ears, so pretty conformist dependent. A person can be 100% indigenous Irish. So true. The Irish are the real indigenous people of the Americas. Flat eyebrows, stubborn, low set eyebrows, quick thinking, and quick to judge. Smallish mouth, maybe medium. I'd say a little more quiet, more reserved. Eyes kind of bulge out a bit, so he is kind of wants to speak and be heard, but I think he might not be telling you the whole truth when he says it because his upper lip is quite thin, so he's going to be hiding his power level a bit. Lower lip not super thin, so a decent sense of self. Overall face shape, you know, you might say Neptune. It's got a bit of that oblong thing, little Neptunian. I would say there's some Mars there as well, especially on the right side. So the intersection between those two would be very independent, driven, focused, combative, trouble in relationships, I think, because you're so independent, both morally and in action. Have a strong impulse to fight for a cause. Some guy said in the chat said, tiki torch coded. I could see this guy. You might be at Charlottesville. Who knows? But because you have moral passion and independence combined with a desire to fight for what you believe in, and very stubborn, kind of arched eyebrows, slightly positive canthal tilt too, a little rebellious, a little assertive, very powerful physiognomy. I like it, yeah. Especially in this one, you can see this guy was at Charlottesville. That's a joke. He's not slandering him. Newgrange in Ireland, older than the Egyptian pyramids. Dude, they say Tartaria, but Tartaria was actually the Irish Empire, the ancient Celts. All right.
We got a probably one last super chat from Berserkers.
Yeah, I saw that. I need to look up
that one. Can you help me make sense of the SPD eyes? Friedrich Ebert, Willy Brandt, and Olaf Scholz look similar. Is it ideology shaping expression?
These guys have the hooded eyes.
SPD, of course, being the
Socialist.
left-wing party in
the Social Democratic Party. Hooded eyes. So what's going on here is these hooded eyes that you're noticing, these deep-set hooded eyes, that's kind of an alpinid trait. And alpinids, what are alpinids? Alpinids are people who they have an infantile, neotenous look from being like settled farmers for so long. So the thing with that is that they're very communitarian, very anti-egalitarian, very cautious, and they're farmers that they are endomorphic. They're heavy set. They like to take things in. So you look at alpinids in Germany. What are they? Well, they're all Catholics and they're all socialists, and they kind of always have been. So they're all like, let's have a nice orderly Roman church, and we'll pay indulgences and we'll be spiritually secure. Even though Martin Luther was an alpinid, interestingly enough. But the real thing here is just that I think just alpinids tend to be most more socialist. You look at a lot of the French Revolution, the revolutionaries there, they were a lot of the French alpinids killing all the Nordid nobles in French Mediterraneans. You look at what else? It's probably the Bavarian Republic. Like after World War I, Bavaria tried to secede and become a Soviet republic. Now the Free Corps dealt with them, and that didn't end up happening. But you see what I'm getting at here, where these ancient evolutionary lifestyles end up influencing our politics. So you're just noticing alpinids. Also, the alpinid areas were the ones that voted the least for the Nazis, and that probably has more to do with their Catholicism. But it is still an interesting connection. German alpinid Caths vote CSU. Yes, but that's a conservative. It's the same impulse, but it's just different orientation. So SPD, CSU, it's both like a safety-seeking impulse, where conservative versus socialist, like that's just the right and the left of alpinid. If you're a left-wing alpinid, you become SPD. If you're a right-wing alpinid, you become CSU. Like you probably won't find that many alpinids in AFD. Like it's too risky. They're too cautious of people. So, all right.
I think that's it.
I guess that's it. All right, folks. If I missed anyone, we'll get you next time. Let me know. And we have records of all the super chats and stuff. That is a good note to end it on. People are kind of trickling out now, which makes sense because, it's been going for a while. Almost right at 3 hours. That's crazy. I thought it would be 2 hours and we'd have to pad it and stretch it out with celebrity readings, but y'all flooded in. So thank you everyone who donated. If you gave 20 and I didn't get to you, we will get you next time. I will be doing more of these in the future. Seemed like you guys really like this. So, Abram, you got anything to say?
No, it was a good stream.
Yeah.
It was fun. We'll have to do it again pretty soon.
Yeah, the chat is awesome. I would say this live chat is shockingly funny. But wait, hold on. We got it. Okay, last one actually. She PayPal'd for this at the beginning, and I didn't see, but my wife let me know. Kathleen. Okay, we've got one more. Hold on, surprise reading. It's actually here. Everyone's already trickling out, but we're gonna get her real quick. Pointy, mostly mercurial. Very quick, witty, artsy. See, very much artsy. Hooded eyes, so need for personal space, independence. Big upper third in the ear, very intellectual, deep thinker. Right eyebrow swoops up and is kind of arched, so public and professional persona is a little more irresponsible, quick, controlling, jealous. Small mouth, introverted, thin lips, not super expressive, kind of guarded, positive canthal tilt, assertive, rebellious, put your own interests first. But ears are not super wide split, so you're not super independent, not very independent, mostly dependent, conformist. Someone says she looked like a female comedian, which is on point because she is mostly a Mercury face with a little bit of Jupiter coming there. She has a little bit of roundness towards the cheeks there, so that shows some joviality, jolliness, outgoing, strong moral convictions, probably too, I'd say. Probably somewhat moralistic, generous. We got it. We got him. All right. Very glad we got it. Okay, everybody. So sad you missed me. Spirit journey me. Listen, we're going to get everyone next time. I will put out an announcement for Patreon, email, everything for that. The Patreon, I'm going to be looking to do more content for that. I'm thinking of doing more casual style videos where I talk about like the individual archetypes, like one video for each. And thinking of making a video series on the 4 temperaments for my YouTube channel. I had one up before about all of them, but then I took it down and made it a Patreon exclusive. I think I'm going to do one for each on YouTube. What do you guys think? Should I or should I not? I don't know. Think happy thoughts and good things will happen to you. And also pray to the triune God and Jesus Christ. So, good things will happen to you. Unless they don't, in which case it was God's plan. Such is life. Anyways, thank you everybody. Yeah, so that is actually it. Abram, anything?
Nope. I'm all good over here.
All right. Awesome. Well, whoa, now there's a million of me. Let me give out some motion sickness real quick. But yeah. This has been Taylor from Prosopa Insights reminding you to always